The back stairwell said staff only. His mouth didn't. Hook. The sign on the door said staff only, which in this city means the best part of the story is somewhere behind it. At 11:03 p.m., a text from an unsaved number said third floor, south stair. Knock twice. Say my name. The message landed on my husband's phone while he was in the shower, singing a song we used to take to bed with us when we were bolder. I stood there holding the proof like a candle and read it again, because sometimes you need to ruin yourself slowly before you get on with it. I'm Cameron, 35, the man who writes brand scripts about intimacy for corporations that prefer doors to hearts. My husband is Lewis, a lighting designer who can make strangers gasp at a room without ever touching them. 4 years into marriage, we were a smooth duet of reliable gestures, eggs the way he likes them, water in the good glasses, a hand on a back at 8:07 so the day would quit arguing. We were athletes at kindness and tourists in danger. The stairwell text looked like a map I had either forgotten or refused to read. The hotel was one of those that pretends it's old because it's expensive and pretends it's kind because it's quiet. I found the south stairwell and listened before I touched. The door breathed the way buildings do when they think no one is looking. I knocked twice and said Lewis, because some instructions are funnier if you follow them. The latch clicked like a secret getting tired. He was at the landing between floors, which is where decisions belong. He leaned against the rail with the confidence of a person who knows how to leave. His shirt sleeves were rolled with the kind of cruelty I forgive when it's well executed. He had a face that would look good even in bad light, and he knew it without weaponizing it. He smiled in a way that refused to be victory. "You said his name like a password," he said. "That usually means you're the right man." "I am often the right man," I said. "I am not always the quick one." "I'm Mateo," he said, offering a hand like a dare he didn't need to make. I took it, because refusing to shake a man's hand when you're about to accuse him of kissing your husband feels like theater, and I get enough of that at home. His palm was warm in a way that felt like gravity rather than heat. The stairwell did that thing where it keeps secrets by echoing them until you agree they're true. The smell of dust and hotel cologne made a small, specific intimacy in my nose. He watched me take inventory of the scene like a designer looking for a point load. "You kissed him," I said. "Twice," he said, and did not blink. Once because he wanted to be looked at without being measured. Once because I wanted to see if I could behave like a man who didn't mind being obvious. Both times he said your name before he slept. "Thank you for telling me what I already knew," I said, which sounded like sarcasm and was mercy. He took a step that wasn't toward me or away, but along a line I hadn't drawn yet, the kind of movement that improves a sentence. He reached up and adjusted the knot of my tie with 2 fingers, careful, rude, the way a librarian might reshelve you under the right subject. It was suggestive in the sense that verbs are suggestive when you stop babysitting them. My breath reported to my mouth like a junior employee eager to please. "Do you want me to leave?" he asked, very properly, like a waiter offering water you forgot you needed. "Yes," I said, "because speed can be a kind of kindness too." "Thank you." He nodded with the precision of a man who knows respect is a good tipping policy and slipped through the door with the kind of quiet that makes you long for a louder goodbye. I waited in the stairwell long enough to wonder whether I wanted spectacle or repair. At 11:17 the door opened again, and Lewis stepped into the landing with his hair damp from a shower he had taken for somebody else, and his mouth stripped of performance. He saw me and decided to be honest. "I kissed him," he said, "because we are good at truth when cornered in architecture. Twice. Once because I wanted to be a surprise and had forgotten how at home. Once because I wanted to hurt us into moving. Both times I thought of you. I'm tired of being the man you think of while you choose someone else, I said. I did not raise my voice. The stairwell shoplifts volume. He put his hand where it belongs on my back, one palm, square between the shoulder blades, the exact button that convinces my lungs we are not having an emergency. We kept it clean enough for cameras and dirty enough for the part of the brain that attaches meaning to heat. My mouth found his ear, where my name lives. The stairwell had the decency to close its eyes. I don't want to audition for your forgiveness anymore, he said into the shirt I hate wearing to fights. I want to be chosen before I deserve it and then deserve it. Then stop asking a hotel to grade your courage, I said. Ask our door. He nodded like a man who has just put his name on a sheet of paper that will ask more of him than he wants and exactly what he needs. We left the stairwell together. We didn't run. We walked like people who know the elevator waits for nobody and who no longer consent to privacy in the wrong rooms. At home, we didn't turn on the overhead light. He taped a square of blue painter's tape to the kitchen window and wrote 807 above it with the pencil that lives magnetized to our fridge. We stood there the next night and let the minute make us do what our principles can never force. Stand where love told us to, put the hand where breath listens. The city gave us its nightly affidavit, scooter asking permission, elevator choosing, someone laughing like survival, and we didn't narrate any of it. At 8:12 we named 3 facts, 2 fears, 1 request without prosecuting. At 8:20 we poured water into the good glasses and it sounded like applause for people who decided to stick around. It wasn't pretty. Twice he was late and the old, mean version of me drafted texts to Mateo I did not send. Once I saw Mateo across the lobby at the theater, tie loosened to that illegal degree, talking to a woman whose earrings looked like punctuation. He lifted 2 fingers in a greeting the size of a truce. I nodded back. The opposite of jealousy is work. I bought groceries we could cook fast and eat slow. At 3:15 one afternoon, a push alert arrived on my phone we never admitted to programming. Listen to 11 seconds of water. I did. Present/bus stop, I texted. Present/rigging, he wrote back, which is light designer for I am checking the weight so nothing heavy will fall when you walk under it. People ask in bathroom lines if there was a villain. They want a man with a practiced mouth, a hotel that flatters regret, a husband who forgot urgency can be made at home. The truth is always more embarrassing and therefore useful. The villain was the version of us that kept substituting competence for heat and lighting cues for friction. The hero was a minute that tolerated repetition until we did. The erotic part wasn't the stairwell or the shirt rolled one too many inches. It was his palm at 8:07, and the way my name behaved in his mouth when he stopped trying to sound noble. A week later, Lewis found the staff-only sign he'd pocketed by accident and handed it to me like a man returning a wallet. I put it in a drawer labeled miscellaneous, which is another word for maybe, and an admission that sometimes souvenirs are warnings. Tonight at 7:58, I will set my phone face down like manners still exist. At 8:07, his hand will land at the back of the heart, and the room will remember its job. If we miss, we will try again at 8:17 or 10:10 or 11:11, whenever mercy clocks in. Somewhere a stairwell is waiting for new secrets. Our door at home knows our knock. It opens when we say the right name.